It's only a very, very tiny percentage of men that have fat and obese women as their preference. Let me say that again. It's only a very, very small percentage of men that actively prefer to date and have intimacy with fat and heavily overweight or obese women. Now, the current dating market is skewed in the favor of women. Women have all the power, and women's standards are incredibly high. Even women that are below average looking, women that are average looking, women that are just not good looking at all, fat, obese, as I just mentioned, not a pretty face, even disabled women, and no disrespect to disabled women or any disabled people, but I'm just saying that women have incredibly high standards, and I don't blame them for it at all. But the problem is that most men still have incredibly high sex drives. Most men want to get laid constantly and consistently. The problem is that the average man that doesn't find, fat women his preference, the average man wants to sleep with not necessarily a supermodel or an Instagram model or a woman with a banging body, but just a woman with like an average body, an average slim, woman. But the average slim woman does not want a guy that's average. So what happens is you have a lot of guys that, either in secret, out in the open, are dating and having sex with a lot of fat and obese women. Now, most guys will I've done this myself, I do this myself. Most guys, we settle for fat, obese women because those are the only women that will give us the time of the day. And even then, fat and obese women have high standards. But still, fat and obese women are a bit easier to sleep with, actually a lot easier to sleep with, provided you're at least average looking or slightly above average looking. But yeah, most guys that say, I love fat women, I love big women, they don't. They just delude themselves into thinking that they do, or they tell themselves that. They lie to themselves, saying that they prefer obese women, when in actual fact, they're saying that to cope with the fact that they can't get their ideal woman with their ideal body type. But men want to smash, and men will smash anything. And if the woman of your dreams, a woman with not even a woman of your dreams, a woman that isn't fat, because most guys want a girl that isn't fat. Like, that's one of the only requirements. Like, we want a girl that isn't fat. But nowadays, most guys have to settle for fucking and having sex with and dating fat women. And even then, you're not guaranteed a fat woman. Fat women have more options than you'll ever have. You're not guaranteed to get a fat woman, but those are the only women that might give you a piece of the pussy. They might slide you a piece of the pussy. As fat women, it seems to be on dating apps. Those are the only women that show me attention. Fat old women. And if they're not old women, they're fat and young, but they're just incredibly overweight. And deep down, fat women know, and they've got this plus size movement and healthy at every size, but deep down, fat women know that they're fat. Even if they won't admit it out in the open, they know they can't compete with thin women. But a lot of these fat women can't be bothered to lose weight. They'd like to lose weight. If you gave them a magic potion which would allow them to lose 50 pounds of weight, they'd take it, all right. but they can't be bothered to do the exercise. And plus, there's no real incentive for fat women to lose weight because they're still getting attention from men. Maybe not the men that they want, maybe not the 6'5", muscular Chad or Tyrone, but they're still getting attention from men. They're still getting sexual attention from men. They're still getting dating attention from men. Men willing to take them seriously. The only time fat women start to lose weight is when they want to deal with a higher caliber of man. When they want to compete for the chads. When they want to sleep around with chads. And some chads will sleep with fat women, but they will never commit. So a lot of these fat women lose weight so they can get chad to commit. A lot of the time, if you get with a fat woman, if you're lucky enough to even get a fat girl nowadays, it's that bad. You even have to be lucky to get a fat girl. If you manage to get into a relationship with a fat girl and she loses weight and she gets slim and attractive, she'll leave you because now she's out of your league. Now she wants a guy that's also fit. And now she knows she can also get a guy that's fit and muscular and tall. Everything that you're not. But yeah, the main premise of this video was to make a point that a lot of men say that, yeah, my preference is big women, my preference is fat women. No. I'd wager a bet that, almost over 99% of guys prefer women that aren't obese or fat. Even men that prefer, some women with meat on their bones, it's meat in all the right places, a big bum, big breasts, thick thighs. No man wants a big stomach and big arms. It's all good having a big bum and big tits. But if everything else is big as well, it's not really going to work out. But it is working out. Because a lot of men are getting with these fat women, gassing these fat women heads up. Because a lot of these fat women are getting so much attention on these dating apps. You see, back in the day, way back in the day, before dating apps, before the, ubiquitousness of the internet, fat women knew that either they lose weight or they just have to settle for a guy that's either fat or a guy that's, below average. But nowadays, fat women can get chad. Fat women can get chad. So if a fat woman has sex with a chad, she now thinks that's her level. And the average man nowadays, in order for the average man, I'm just going to say this, in order for the average man to get laid nowadays for free without directly paying for sex, because we all pay in some way, but without directly paying for sex, right? The only way the average man is, and I'm not even talking about a below average man, the only way the average man is going to get laid nowadays, right, is if he chooses to have sex with a fat woman, if he lowers his standards to deal with an obese fat woman. Because you might be a guy that's average looking, you might think, oh, I'm 5'10", I'm in relatively decent shape. My face is not that attractive, but, I'm an average looking guy, decent looking, average looking. I'm not ugly, but I'm not particularly chad either. I'm an average looking guy, perfectly acceptable. You think you can get an average chick. You think you can get the average 5'5", slim chick. Just an average chick, not particularly hot. No. The average chick thinks she's way above you. Average looking women do not want average looking men. So what happens is you have to end up, if you're an average guy, you end up having to deal with the 2s and the 3s, the big fat overweight women, and even they don't want you. Even they think they're better than you. But that's your only real chance of getting any pussy nowadays, fellas.